Welcome back, everyone. And one of the things, or two things actually, when I drive for Uber and Lyft that people like about the car I drive is one, the bright red color, because my Ford Focus is fire engine race red, as well as some of the accents from the previous owner painted a lot of stuff red. But the other thing is, they can't believe I drive a stick shift. And yes, my 2014 Ford Focus is a stick shift. It is a dying feature on today's modern cars. There aren't many stick shifts out there. There aren't many drivers that drive a stick shift, or Uber or Lyft, because many people says I'm the only one they've ever seen. But the good thing about driving stick shift is, one, they're cheap. They're cheap to buy because not many people drive them anymore, bless me. So if you're an Uber driver or Lyft and you need a cheap car and you're driving for the Uber X platform only, we're here are the top 5 cars to drive for Uber and Lyft for stick shift. Number 1, this shouldn't be surprising if you know my videos, the 2012 to 2015 Honda Civic. There isn't a car on the market that is more fun to drive. Now, we're not talking about race cars or hot rods like Camaro or the Mustang. That's more fun to drive than the Civic made it with a manual transmission. Honda engines are usually pretty fun, sporty and zippy. You made it with a manual transmission, they're absolutely awesome. Number 2, this shouldn't be a surprise also, Toyota Corolla. Toyota makes the best overall car, but I think they make the second best engines as far as gas goes when it comes as behind Honda. But their Corollas are bulletproof with an automatic transmission, even more bulletproof with a manual transmission. Either the hatchback or the other sedan, or if you want to buy a Toyota Matrix, which is basically nothing more than a Corolla with a different name. And because of the Matrix and because of the versatility of the room, the little bit more room they have, you can maybe push them over the edge at number 1 over the Civic. Debatable. Number 3, I'm going to give you an SUV. The 2012 to 2018 Honda CX-5. Yes, they do come with manual transmissions. But the caveat with the CX-5 is, if you get one with a manual transmission, I believe they're only front-wheel drive. You cannot get one that's all-wheel drive with a stick shift. But unless you're gun-ho about doing Uber and Lyft in the snow, do you really need it? If you don't drive in the snow, because there is money to be made if you're willing to take the chance, then no, there isn't. So I got the Mazda CX-5 SUV as number 3. And because Mazda engines are also like Hondas, and they're sporty and they're zippy, you make that with and their engines last a long time, but their automatic transmissions are always crap. So you get one on a manual, and now you're range, you're good to go. You got a fun, zippy SUV to make money with. Number 4. I am going to go with, if you do want an all-wheel drive vehicle, I'm going to go with the Subaru Impreza. all-wheel drive, you can get those in all-wheel drive with a stick shift. So if you're gun-ho and driving the snow, or maybe you live in an area where all-wheel drive is required, but you want to drive stick, there you go. I'm gonna put that on the list. You know what? I'll put it. You can put the Crosstrek 2 as tied for 4th. And finally, number 5, I also got a tie because it basically almost, for me, it was the same car. Because Ford had a controlling interest. One is the Mazda 3, and 2, what I'm currently driving, the Ford Focus. These cars were as fun to drive as a Civic, but just not as refined, in my opinion. The thing about the Ford Focus, though, if you get a stick shift, do not get a stick shift with an EcoBoost motor. In fact, anything you see with Ford and the word EcoBoost on it, you should walk away. No, I'm sorry. You need to run away from that because the EcoBoost motors have been terrible. So if you can get a Ford Focus with stick shift, get the 2-liter gas direct injection engine. These cars are very good in gas. I've gotten as good as about 42 miles highway. I average about in the mid-30s with this. They're cheap to buy. They're fun to drive. The stick on this thing is pretty smooth, not like the not the sporty feel you did with the earlier models, but very smooth nonetheless. So there you go. The top 5 cars to drive for Uber and Lyft if you want to drive 5-speed. Let me know if I missed a car that you like. Put your comments down below, and we'll talk to you later.